Hey everyone, welcome to a session of conversations with courageous cancer warriors. And today I have a visionary coach. I mean, this lady is on fire. Not only is she talking to me, I think you're 9 months pregnant, but she is also a coach. She's a speaker. She is a podcaster. And did I mention that she's a visionary coach? I would love for you to welcome Genesis Amaris Kemp. Genesis, how are you?
I am doing well. Hello, beauties. How are y'all? Are y'all ready to take the blaze and blaze up your trajectory? Because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here for you to pop. Let's be prepared on purpose.
I love this. Now I love this. So first and foremost, congratulations on your new arrival. That's pretty a couple weeks out, right?
No, not a couple. Don't rush it yet. So 7 months. August is the due date, but getting there, y'all.
And as an August baby, we love August babies.
Yes, Team Leo in the building.
I'm a Virgo though, but yes, we work really well together for sure. So tell me a little bit about what you provide as a service.
So as a service, I provide, of course, visionary life coaching. One thing that I really like to help my clients with is understanding that there are ways to shift your paradigm. You could go from that pessimistic to optimistic. You could go from that rut to, that blossoming period. You could go from the sowing to the reaping and etc. But you have to know how to hack your mindset in order for you to level up, because we have all been through trials and tribulations, but how have those trials and tribulations strengthen you to get to the period that you are in now? Things don't just happen to us, they happen for us. So if you're able to see the clarity and the focus behind what has happened to you, then you're going to be able to level up. And I said, if I didn't go through the hell of life, or the roller coaster ride of life, or the mess, I wouldn't have a message to tell you. I wouldn't have a testimony to share if I've never been tested. And I tell people, I'm just going to get real, raw, and vulnerable. 2020 was a hell of a year for me. And I even talked about it in my book. It was far from perfect vision, y'all, but it was a hell of a slap when it comes to reality. And I lost my dad in November 2020. Lost my corporate job from oil and gas, found out 1 week after my dad passed, was forced to work up until February of 2021 in order for me to get a severance package and all the other things that were due to me. 9 months after that, and 5 days, I lost my grandmother. And then just recently in January of 2022, I lost my other grandmother. So I say this to say that we have all been tested in some form of fashion, whether it's the loss of a loved one, whether it's an illness, a diagnosis, or whatever the case may be, but you are stronger than you think. And all it starts with is just going within, doing the internal work to see how you are showing up externally. What gifts and talents do you have? What power do you need to unleash in order to really solidify who you are? And it's okay sometimes if you need to be like, take a step back to reevaluate where you're going, because we have all done that. And if I sit up here and say that I haven't done that, I would be a fraud and a liar, because I have. And sometimes it hurts like hell, but if it doesn't hurt, it doesn't require you to push.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. And one of the things that you just said really resonates with me is like, sometimes you need to take a step back in order, to propel you forward. Like there's that saying, you got to pull an arrow in order to launch. And so many times we're on automatic. We're on autopilot. Like things that worked for us 5 years ago may not work for us now, but we're so used to being in that pattern without consciously thinking of like, does this serve me? That I love the fact of you saying, hold on a second, take a step back and really assess what you have going on. So now you work with clients in really getting their vision. And we are huge on that for the fact that many of the listeners here have gone through something traumatic, and they, we get to a point in our journey as cancer warriors where you're like, you've gone through all this stuff, you've gone through the doctors, you've gone through the treatments, you've been put through hell and back, as you said, right? And then it's like, now what? Like,
Mm.
I'm no longer the same person I was. This process has changed me. And what do we want in our lives? So that's why I love what you're up to. So talk to me a little bit about like how you work with clients in developing that vision.
Okay. And one thing I want to say too is about the cancer warriors. I just want to tell you all that you are a baddie, or you are a superhuman. You are a badass, and cancer is not a death sentence. Like, I currently have my close cousin that is undergoing her cancer treatment. She has adult T cell leukemia lymphoma, and she just went through a bone marrow transplant, so the BMT, and that could be very hard on your body. But the most important thing whenever you are going through that journey is to really make sure you're staying in a place of peace. You're practicing mindfulness, you're practicing meditation, you're eating right, but with positive mindsets, high energy and vibration. It helps you with the healing and the recovery process, and just shutting out the negativity, the critics, the naysayers, and anything that will diminish you from really flourishing throughout this process, because it's not easy. And from the outside looking in, I can't say I know how it feels, because I haven't gone through cancer treatments. I haven't done radiation or chemotherapy, but I can see the effects externally that it does have on you. And I'm here to let you know that as an advocate for cancer, I'm going to do what I can to spread awareness around this topic, whether I'm introducing you to different methods and modalities and different exercises that you could do to just really help you clear that rut. So one thing that I help people do in the space to really get that vision is really do a RCA, which is a root cause analysis. I want you to pull out a blank sheet of paper, and this is going to be our word vomit exercise, our mind mapping, where I want you to unconsciously think about all the words and thoughts that are in your head, and grab a pen and a piece of paper and start writing them down. And don't even think about what you write down right now. Just write, just let it flow, because this is releasing those thoughts out of your mind onto paper. And then set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes. Once that time is up, then you're going to go into the reflection period, where you are taking time to be conscious and reflecting on what you wrote down. Why did I write this down? What is this causing me? What is this causing me? Is it adding value, or is it distracting me, or is it derailing me? How do I feel? And pay attention to your external feelings as well as your internal feelings, because if those aren't lining up, it means that there's a mismatch there. Then ask yourself, is this true? Is this me? Because sometimes our negative ego talks to us more than our positive ego. But what voice are you listening to? How are you allowing that voice to shape and curate your day? And then really spend time with understanding that, because once you understand the thoughts in your head and why you're flowing a certain way, then you could be able to pinpoint on where you need to make improvements on, because our mind is connected to our body. Our body is tied to our spirit and soul. And in order to have synergies there, you need to have everything functioning optimally. Mind, body, and soul, which is tied to mental health, physical health, emotional health, and spiritual health. And all of them must work together to create synergies and really have that holistic dichotomy.
Yeah.
Is this making sense so far, Lori?
Absolutely. And I can't agree with you more on it, right? Like, so I love the brain dump, as I call it. And it's one of those things too that for those of you who haven't done something similar right now, before I should say, this is also how you can journal, right? Like, just don't think about it, just get it out so you can start moving yourself forward. And I love that you say, write down the words, don't think about it, and then go through and see what each one of them means to you. Because you are so right that in any moment you can shift your mindset with just the awareness of it, right? Just by being aware that when I think about this, it gives me this feeling, and this is not a feeling that I want to have. you then have the power to shift it. I absolutely love this exercise. It's amazing. So from there, what do you do?
So then once you're done with all of that, and you start to see your reflection periods and your point, then now it comes from the deprogramming to the reprogramming. So then we move into mirror work, where you actually stand in front of mirror, and instead of reciting the negative self-talk, you're going to start saying positive self-talk. This is where you're going to release your affirmations and your gratitudes. And the reason why you're looking yourself in the mirror is because sometimes we don't want to look ourselves back ourselves in the mirror. We don't want to reflect on who we are because we're so blinded and we have a facade on, we have blinders on, and etc. But when you actually see yourself in the mirror and you see the your body language that you're giving off, you pay attention to the tonality in your voice, you pay attention to everything, then you start to say aha, and that visualization is going to be embedded in you, because you need to see yourself for where you're going and what it is that you want. So an exercise could look like this. You put your hands on your hips, you stand in a power pose, and you start to recite, I am worthy, I am noble, I am smart, I am gifted, I am talented, I am enlightened, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, I am healthy, I am enough, I am whole, I am complete, ... Recite all the amazing qualities that you have about yourself. Pay attention to the tone that you're saying. If you just say, I'm worthy, you're not feeling that you're worthy, because look at the way that you say. If you say, I am worthy, and you raise the pitch in your voice, you say it with a smile, with your hand on your hip, that's opening up, and it's letting the universe know that I am worthy and I'm open to receive what's coming to me. Or if you say, I am worthy, and you say it with confidence and you belt it out and you're just going in for it, then the confidence is going to start to build up. But this can't be a one-day thing. This needs to be a continual practice, because if you think about it this way, we all have electronic devices. What happens when we skip that update on our phone, or we skip that update on our PC or laptop? Our devices are not going to function optimally because it does not have the latest software update. But the minute you update your software, which can be internally just as much as it is externally, but right now we're focusing on the internal, because once you focus on the internal, you're going to be able to manifest externally. Then you could see how you are going to be operating with higher energy, higher vibrations, and you're really going to have that confidence that you so desire, because you were created, like I said, on purpose, for a purpose. Now we just need to get you to pop, prepared on purpose, so you go walk out where you're supposed to be headed.
I love that. I love that. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but you just
No, go.
So much good stuff. Now, so guys listening, I want you to really embrace this practice, because it works, and a lot of us really forget to do this. I have to tell you that I have an event coming up this weekend that I was approached to be part of, and I signed up for it. I didn't look at anything about it. I was just like, sure, I'm happy to be a speaker. Like, I'm happy to be your guest. And then I saw the lineup and I got really nervous. And I was like, my imposter syndrome came out of like, what do I have to say? Like, who am I to be part of this lineup? And I found myself last night being like, I'm deserving to be there too. And so when we think about what that means for our health, right? There's so many of us that are like, we feel unlovable, right? Through the trauma of cancer, we feel unlovable because of the treatments that we've gone through. How are we looking externally? How we're feeling internally, right? We're unlovable. Nobody's gonna, find us. We're unattractive. We are broken. Is a lot of what I hear with my clients, and a lot of what I've personally felt. And this is the game changer. Like, Genesis is giving you gold right now. This practice will have you transform the areas of life in which you are having difficulties in, and getting you to a positive mindset in this context. So if you haven't taken out that paper, I want you to stop this recording. I want you to do the exercise. I want you to kind of like go through and then get these affirmations. And if you get stuck, right, you need to contact Genesis. You can contact me, but she's the visionary coach, and I want you to get into action. There's no more time to waste. So Genesis, I totally hijacked you, but tell me more.
No, this is good.
I love
And as the Cheetah girls say, si se puede. Yes, you can. Another thing, so we talked about mind mapping. We talked about word vomits and just really practicing that, and reflection. We talked about the mirror work, getting in front of the mirror, reciting your affirmations and your gratitudes, and just increasing your energies and your vibrations. Another thing I want to talk about is the importance of connecting externally. Changing your scenery, whether it's getting out in nature, going for a walk, going for a jog, practicing yoga, practicing mindfulness via meditation, whether it's guided meditation, or if you're sitting in, your closet and it's dark and you could really just shut off the distractions. Don't take your phone in there. Just tell people that you're setting up this time, really enforcing those boundaries, because in order to recharge, rejuvenate, and refuel, you need to really practice self-care. And self-care is a part of self-love and that self-awareness. And you need to really take time to just refuel yourself and, like I said, recharge. And I really want you to just close your eyes and start to just practice on your breathing. And there's a box method, or some people say a square method. So you inhale, hold it for 4, exhale, leave it for 4, inhale, hold it for 4, exhale, hold it for 4, and really pay attention to your breathing. And it starts to slow things down so you can begin to get in a state where it is calming, your heart is not racing, you're saying, I'm letting go of any distractions, I'm coming into myself, I'm going to have oneness, and I'm going to allow my intuition, my discernment, or that still small voice speak to me and really connect with where I am in this present moment and where it is that I want to be. And visualize your happy place. Where are you? What does it smell like? What is the weather like? How does it make you feel? Do you hear the waves clashing? Do you hear the birds chirping? How does the grass smell if that's your happy place? Are the roses blooming? Do they smell sweet and savory? Are you in a coffee shop if you're a coffee lover? How does the roast smell of the coffee? Is it dark roast, medium roast? What does your creamer smell like? Etc. Wherever your happy place is, visualize that, because then you're going to start to feel better. And this is really the time for you to just practice mindfulness, meditation, and etc. And then I also want you to think about, how do I feel? What is next for me? And am I seeing myself healthy, whole, and well? Am I at peace? Do I have joy? Do I have a tribe around me that solidifies me? And then really just see yourself like as your younger self, but on steroids, accomplishing everything that you have set out to accomplish. Then do the breathing exercise again. In for 4, out for 4, in for 4, out for 4. Now slowly begin to open your eyes. And how do you feel? How do you feel, Lori?
Oh my goodness. I just feel centered. I feel at peace. I feel I have an increased clarity. And I feel good. I feel good.
So now imagine if you practice that if you're just starting out. I know it's hard to still yourself, so I would say 5 minutes. then increase it in increments by 5. Then the next stage, you do 10 minutes. Then you do 15. And then also put it on your calendar, because your calendar will act as your accountability partner. And then it will also show the people that you love that this is my time for me. This is going to be uninterrupted, and this is what I need to do. And don't feel bad for that, because using that is a way to set up boundaries. Everyone has boundaries, but it's so important not to just set them up, but to enforce those boundaries and give yourself the time that you need.
Yeah. And the other thing too is create the space that you need in order for you to be present with yourself, right? So it's okay for you to put some headphones in, like the noise canceling one, without music, and just kind of tune everybody out, right?
Mhm.
Especially if you have a house with everybody working from home right now, right? There's
Yeah.
always going to be distractions. And, so for those of you who are not used to this meditation, or if you have practiced it and you fell out of your practice, like this is a really great exercise to get you centered and to also show you where you want to go, right? This is that vision work of, okay, great, I'm in my happy place. And what does that mean for me? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So now you also have a book.
Yes. So my book is called Chocolate Drop in Corporate America, From the Pit to the Palace. The reason why it's called Chocolate Drop is, for those of you that can't tell, I am melanated. I have that darkness, and I like to say chocolate drop because so many people say, oh, you're Black or you're African American, or what are you? Because your features look different. Because my dad was South American and my mom is Caribbean descent. She's West Indian. So my dad was from Curacao, right off the tip of Venezuela, part of the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. And my mom is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so the West Indies. And I just really wanted to put out the book to talk about my story of what I faced in corporate America. For those of you that are on the video, you can see that there's a world in the background, which means that there are issues that don't just happen in America, but they happen worldwide. There's people from all career professions on the cover of the book, as well as nationality, showcasing that with diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, it does take all of us coming together to really create those synergies in order to make this a world a better place. And then from the pit to the palace, remember how I talked about sometimes in life, you have to go through the hell of a storm. And that storm is going to create, the latter part. And the latter part is going to be your palace. And that's your success point. And your palace is going to look something different than somebody else's, and that's okay. And I'll just read the back of the book because I don't want to be long-winded, Lori, just so you could get a full synopsis. So I start off with 2 questions because I definitely like to challenge my readers. So what challenges in the workplace have you encountered that left you feeling as if you were mistreated? Have others who were unqualified seemingly passed you by in the ranks? In our daily lives, we are all faced with various trials, whether in the workforce or at home. However, when treated unfairly, it takes courage to stand and fight for what's right. No matter your race, nationality, ethnicity, or background, you can rise to be the game changer. When you use the power of your voice, you shake the atmosphere and cause a domino effect, because others will choose to either follow suit or stand in solidarity. On the pages of Chocolate Drop in Corporate America, Genesis has chosen to speak up for not only minorities, but also anyone who has been slighted on the job in any way. From her personal testimony, you will learn how speaking up brought awareness so that long-lasting change could be made. We do not win by remaining silent, overlooking injustice, and continuing to practice poor judgment. We win by standing together, engaging in those difficult conversations, which now I remix and say courageous conversations, and helping one another. Let's work together to create change for future generations to come.
Love it. I love it. And I think we could all agree with you that we've all gone through some experiences that have left us a little disheartened on, you know, interactions within the workplace. So that book is so powerful and it's so needed, especially now in this world that we're living in. So Genesis, it's been a true pleasure to have you on here today. So tell me, how can people find you?
So for those of you that are looking for me, you can go to my website, which is a one-stop. It has all the info there, and that's genesisamarisKemp.net, and that's GenesisAmarisKemp.net, and it has the multiple tabs there. So there's a book tab. You'll get the first chapter of my book for free. There's a tab for my podcast called Gems Podcast, which Lori will be on soon. There's also a tab for my radio show that I do once a month. It's internet-based radio with WBNN, and it's Blog Talk. And then I also have my features and merchandise tab, which there are 2 more freebies there for y'all. So one is a health assessment, because what good is having wealth if you don't have quality of health to enjoy it? And then the second one is a Kiani Sunrise, which is great for all of you undergoing cancer treatment or just overcoming it, because it's your superfood, super nutrients, and it has all the vitamins in it that you need, and it's in a pack. You just rip it open and take it. And I really think that in order of putting all this gunk in your body that's on the market, you really need to pay attention to holistic and nutrition that's going inside, because your body is your temple and it's very powerful, and it can heal itself with the proper diet, nutrition, and just really that mindset.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. So thank you so much for your time today. And those of you listening, please go check Genesis out. We are just honored to have had you here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the gold that you gave us. Thank you.